Hi everyone! Originally I was going to film a short update about restocking my Tropical Palette Watercolour Set and then do the unboxing of this Jackson's Art little package that you can see here. But I will end up actually talking about a few new ceramic mixing palettes that I bought and share that with you. So it has taken a bit more time, and the unboxing will be left for the next video. And enjoy the rest of the video. Firstly, I just want to say a big thank you to all of you who have purchased and jumped so quickly and had your timers on and bought out, and my tropical watercolor was sold out within half an hour, which was just amazing. It's record breaking. This is the third palette of watercolors, handmade watercolors that I made, and yeah, I was literally, you know, I thought this palette would do really well purely because by now I kind of have a good feel about watercolors. So when I was making this palette, I had a lot more knowledge about granulating and pigment separating watercolors than I did when I did my first watercolor palette, which was more of a craft colors, because it had a lot of white pigment in there to make them nicely opaque. But then gradually I sort of started improving the quality and making them more interesting for not just craft makers but also watercolorists. Yeah, so my interest has grown in that area, and I could also then create something which I thought would do really well, but I had no idea that it would do that well. So since it sold out so fast, it meant, of course, I had to work extremely hard for the coming week after they were sold out, because I had to package everything up, get all the orders ready, and that meant everything in one go. And also yeah, the shipping and all of it, so it had to happen quite fast, and it takes a long time once everything is ready, but then you just need to get the orders ready, and that is also very time consuming. Unfortunately, it coincided with something that happened that week. I don't want to go too much into it, but I'll just say that it was an incredibly stressful week, and regardless of that, it was very important for me to still stay professional and get all those orders out to you and ship them on time, which I did, and I was so proud of myself that I could just power through all of the worries that were going on at home and just, you know, get those out to you. So I have shipped them last Friday. I think this video is coming out on Friday, so yeah, the week before, and hopefully some of you already would have gotten the palette, and most of you probably will get it very soon. Yeah, so that's that. Also, to touch on the point that because it did so well, I had a very overwhelming amount of requests for a restock, and I was planning a restock in any case because, like I said, I kind of knew that it would do well, and I love this palette so much that I kind of would love to have the opportunity of have this palette almost permanently available in my shop, which will take a while because the demand is so big. There will be quite a few restocks before I can make the palettes last for at least few days in my shop, if that makes sense. So to update all of you who are interested in the restock, I was planning to do a restock for the end of May. Now that the situation has changed a little bit with everything that's going on privately, I hope I can still do that, but I will have to kind of wait and see. Please be patient, and I know for those of you who want to really get this palette, it will be available. It's just, it may take a week or two longer than I first thought. So that's that. What else? Of course, I will announce the restocks on YouTube and Instagram in like a week advance, and do another reminder maybe a day before, so that all of you can set the timers again. So that's that. Okay, what else? The other thing is, I'll probably have to reduce my YouTube videos to 2 videos per week. So I'll probably have to drop the Wednesday video again, for the reasons that there's just too much strain and too much work at the minute. And if I will be working on another restock and also other things at home, it means that something has to give. And of course, like I said, my business and my customers mean a lot to me. So YouTube is more of a pleasure to me. I love coming to this community that we have created and share things, share my knowledge, and share my kind of like product reviews, book reviews, you know, all of that sort of stuff with the watercolor passion that I have as well. So yeah, obviously that will still be happening, but I will have to reduce the videos a little bit. I'm hoping just for the month of May. Okay, I think that's it for the update. I wanted to show you something else, which is this order. I have been I ordered it on Amazon, so this is separate to Jackson's, and I've been waiting for it for quite a long time, a good few weeks. It was shipped from China. So this is the trays. If you remember, let me just grab out the other set. So recently, with all the swatches and mixes I have been doing, I realized that I'm actually quite enjoying these sort of stackable palettes that have a lid on there. And if you remember, I ordered this a while ago on Jackson's, and I really enjoyed it. It's got 5 trays and something that looks like a lid, but it's not working as a lid because it keeps sliding off. And we had this whole debate on my YouTube that a lot of people thought it's just weird, but it's a weird design. So a lot of people thought that it needs to be stored this way, so upside down. You paint on the bottom of the tray for some reason. I have no idea why you would do that, and then keep this sort of securely. The lid wouldn't slide off as it has a lip here, but this bit here is untreated, so it doesn't have a glaze, which means that you will end up with dirtying it. Like here, it will stain and it's not going to wash off because this part of the lid also isn't treated. Here, this is where you're supposed to actually use it for mixing. This is obviously all glazed, and so, you know, it will wash off beautifully. Anyway, so that was sort of my problem with it, because I always leave mixes in my trays like so, if I like them and I want to come back to them to kind of play more with them. And therefore, I do need a lid, and I don't like keeping them upside down like that. I don't know, it just feels weird to me. And especially when they're still wet, they obviously have to dry. So then this lid goes on and it sort of, you know, just kind of slides off and falls around on the desk. I keep knocking it over. Anyway, those of you who have watched those videos know my dilemma. So I have started looking into a palette that has a proper lid, and I found it on Amazon. Now, they all aren't really a great design. It sort of feels like a Goldilocks situation here, you know, not quite perfect. But so this palette, once you get the lid off, it actually, the rest of the trays, they sit perfectly. They don't slide off. Now this one, although we have the lid that's fitting now because it has a proper lip here, what we have is this. So they all kind of slip and slide. So there's too much gap between the lip and the stand. yeah, so, and also comparison wise, so this is the lid here. This is what it looks like. So you can still use the inside of the lid as well. Again, this part is not glazed. And when we look at the trays, so the bottom of it, I think it's like pretty much identical in terms of this area. But you can see it comes out more, so you get more mixing space in here. It's a bit thicker, but you can see it's quite a bit sort of bigger. The mixing space is tiny bit bigger than this as well. So yeah, also you get 5 trays in both, and the lid, one of them is functional as a lid and the other one is not. So yeah, and the other thing is, again, the lid is not too perfectly sitting. It does slide around, but it wouldn't fall off like it just kind of, you know, falls off here. So if you wanted to grab yourself one of those palettes, I haven't obviously started using it. It's brand new. I just unboxed it, but it's a good one. So yeah, it's worth looking at. And since we're talking about palettes, I might as well show you another new addition, which also I found on Amazon. Now these are supposed to be like jewelry trays, or trays that you can put in your bathroom for a bit of soap and maybe hand cream or something like that, just to make things look pretty. Or you can put your, like, you know, keys in there, or rings, whatever you want. So I decided to use them as my mixing trays because the size is perfect. If I just show it compared to my phone, this is iPhone X, and you can see it's a little bit taller, but width-wise it's the same. This obviously cover has added quite a few millimeters because it's a thick one, so keep that in mind. So probably a bit wider than the iPhone X. Yeah, so I bought 3 trays so that I can mix my warms, my colds and my neutrals. And they are very neat because, again, they have a small lip, they're not chunky, they're very easy to create larger mixes like this. So particularly if you are trying to get a certain mix right, they're very good for that. Yeah, so I have been really enjoying them. So they don't take that much space, so that means I can just rest them next to the sketchbook and we're good to go. So it looks like the update and talking about the palettes has taken quite a bit longer than I thought, so I think it's best if I do the unboxing in a separate video and we concentrate on that. So that's what you're going to get. It's a happy mail from Jackson's in the next video. Thanks for watching and see you soon.